Good evening. I have finished the book called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Today I simply want to talk about some of my general ideas about the book. On the cover of the book, as you can see, a huge egg is facing up, with a zipper at the middle of the surface. It suggests to readers that the world is really unnatural, advanced, and make people uncomfortable and afraid of its rules. The egg also looks like a peculiar shaped fish. As for the title of the book, Brave New World is originated from "Oh, Brave New World that has such people in it", a literal reference from a fictional character, Miranda, in Shakespeare's play The Tempest. The author shows that the world in the book seems fascinating, but is in fact dangerous and unexpected. It's a dystopian book, and is as popular as 1984 by George Orwell. Huxley has an interesting style that he makes the conversation in different scenes, separated by blank lines. It makes it easier for movie directors to record the scenes, in my opinion. However, as a reader, I found it very difficult to distinguish who said which sentences in chapter 3 when the scenes switched among the controller, Mustafa Mon, and the conversations among the controller, Mustafa Mond, and director Tomakin. Bernard overhears the conversation between Henry Foster and assistant predestinator, and the conversation between Lelina and Fanny. I love the first chapter, in which the director used many scientific terms to teach the students how birth of babies work in the laboratory. Huxley is brilliant at making up the chemical processes, because I really enjoy the detailed description. In the book, Bernard marks an alpha-class human being, born with a gamma-level intelligence in the civilized world. He's the main character, because he's the main character in the first part of the book, because he is a rebellious guy, and he befriended Helmholtz, later introduced in the book, who also dreamed about having the freedom of possessing the full range of human emotions, whether or not taking soma, decides if a character agrees on the value of the civilized world. Bernard is the protagonist until he takes soma and is seduced by the pneumatic girl Lelina, who is a symbolic character of the civilization world. Bernard has to yield the protagonist to John the Savage, the abandoned son of director Tomakin, and Linda, who was born John was born in the reservation. Bernard ceases to be a normal person and begs for forgiveness in front of the destiny of being sent to the isolated island, which reminds me of the character Winston Smith in 1984. John battles against civilization by not taking soma, acting against every value of civilization, and by giving up his love for Lelina before he committed suicide. John's values most represent the values of our current world, or of Britain in the 1930s, and his death is definitely a tragedy in the story. I found an interesting similarity between Brave New World and 1984. The antagonists talk very meaningful words with protagonists at nearly the end of the book, though their destinies have been determined. Mustafa Mon never wants to defeat the savage, but he explains the reasons of his choice before and the reality of the world in order to convince the savage to join civilization. I think that most words of his were not spoken as a stereotypical antagonist, but it's the author's smart way of showing his controversial opinion about the trend of the present world at his time. The worlds are so meaningful, and I was almost convinced by the worlds and reasons. Both Huxley and Orwell are great masters at using antagonist words to explain their own ideas. I strongly recommend you to read both books. In this video, I introduced my favorite aspects of the book, and I hope you like it. Thank you, and have a great one.